Welcome back to the John Linetia Show.
Linetia, what do you think of the Bulls this year? Huh?
They did really well.
Yeah,
I am really proud of them. You know, we had people out sick. We had people out hurt. Our star player wasn't with them, and they still did pretty well.
Speaking of that star player, do you think that Derrick Rose's reputation has taken a hit?
That's a good question. Because some people might feel yes, and some people might feel no.
What do you feel?
I don't know. I'm going to always try to stay positive and say no. Okay? But it looks kind of not good that it seemed like he was supposed to come back, and there was rumors about him coming back. He never did.
Well, let's face it. The rumors about him coming back started with him. Started with his team, his brother, his shoe company.
Adidas did
when they
put
did that
this
whole
big thing.
The return.
Yep, and he came out on the court and he hugged his brother.
It was all going to be how this season, because remember, it was before the season started, it was going to be how this season is going to be this big return.
Right. And everyone was waiting.
Everyone was
to come
waiting.
Back.
And every time after the point in which they said that he could practice at full speed, and he started to practice at full speed. All the questions came up about him coming back, and he's evasive. He won't answer them. Well, I don't feel like I'm ready yet.
Which at first you thought, okay, well, it's going to be a surprise. He's going to come and come back during the playoffs.
Right. Maybe he'd be a hero. No hero this year.
He didn't come back.
No. And it was pretty much, after a while, I think all the fans got really sick of, the whole, like, will he or won't he?
Yeah.
It was like, just say you're not coming back and be done with it.
Maybe he couldn't. Maybe he couldn't say it because he wasn't mentally ready to say that.
Well, he obviously wasn't mentally ready to say that. He's obviously got some mental issues. So
stop this.
I mean, in that,
stop that.
He didn't feel comfortable
or confident
playing
enough, which is to me not the same Derrick Rose that's been playing.
Right. So he's probably going to be a diminished player from now on. He may be
you
a
think
star.
So?
I don't know. Obviously, mentally he's diminished. He's not that mentally strong.
The doctors did say he could come back.
Doctors said he'd come back.
Gave him.
He was practicing at full speed. Charles Barkley said it best. If you can practice at full speed, you can play in a game. There was a famous quote. I can't remember because Barkley had brought it up too at one point in time. I think it was I think Phil Jackson when he was coaching the Lakers, and there was a player who was out hurt, and he just came to the player. Or, you know what? Actually, no, it was Pat Riley, and he came to the player and he said. If the player was out and said he couldn't play, and he said, if I asked you, can you give me 2 minutes in the game, would you be able to? And the player said, yeah, I'd be able to. And he said, well, then why aren't you? That's the same. If we asked Derrick Rose, can you give us 5 minutes in a game?
But did Tom Thibodeau ever ask?
It doesn't seem that way.
It doesn't seem like he
the
didn't
Bulls
ask.
Were always resigned to the fact that he wasn't coming back this season, even though his injury wasn't a season and a half,
which happened in April of last year.
Right.
Last year.
And so the way I look at it is this: I think right now his reputation is taking a big hit. I mean, everybody thinks, rightly so, that his brother's a joke. Okay?
Yeah.
And,
except for some of the people that know him, some of the commentators.
Yeah, I guess, but he's obvious, but most people look at it and go, yeah, he's a joke. Okay, fine, But, you get these players, they got these hangers-ons, they've got these kind of useless posse people, and so that's his brother. And, then you had, his shoe company that had this whole big campaign. Now, the way I look at it, too, any other campaigns, anything else from the shoe company, you pretty much can't take anything seriously. You kind of look at it and go, yeah, whatever. You said he was going to return. He didn't return.
So do you think the shoe company, Adidas, Did they take a hit, you think?
Well, I think, a slight hit, but it's not going to be substantial. Because quite honestly, if he starts playing, next year, as soon as he steps on the court, most of the fans are going to forget it all.
I don't think so. I think we still have people who are diehard.
I think there will be a lot of people who will question his toughness.
Maybe.
And
he just had a baby too.
I think, he didn't pop the baby out of his butt.
No. What I mean is, he's a father now. He probably thinks differently,
Yeah, he's probably like, oh, crud, I just knocked up this chick.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm saying that could have an effect on him playing because he's probably thinking about, I have a kid at home. I don't want to be, not able to take care of the baby.
Hopefully he can actually play for his contract next year. He can actually do the job that he's supposed to do.
Because he is still getting paid, even though he is hurt.
And apparently there was an insurance policy out on him, and the Bulls are recouping. It's basically 80% of his salary for half the season. It's not chump change.
No,
but
it never is.
I think overall, it might take a while for people to stop perceiving that essentially that he kind of misled people or let the team down, depending upon how you want to look at it.
Well, no, his team has been quite supportive of him, ups or downs.
Yeah,
they could
be supportive of him, but then again, they probably would have loved to have him out on the court.
But they did do well without him.
They did.
So how do you balance that?
Well, you balance it by saying there's still a better team with him, so they might have done better with him.
Yeah, they might have gone a little bit further.
Maybe.
They might have beat the Heat. Maybe,
who knows?
I don't know. I just feel like, it would have been nice to see him come back. It would have been a great surprise. But really, all the decisions are made on him. Yeah,
I think his reputation took a little hit, but I'm sure after he starts up again next season, everything will be fine. Thanks for listening to the John and Linetia Show.